We're going to be taking a look at Chapter 8 of 7 Days to Freedom, The Art of Wealth Creation. And this chapter is called Just Do It. So we're going to be diving into that.
I like it.
And without further ado, let's get right into it.
Let's do it.
Right off the bat, this chapter starts with a quote from Paulo Coelho. When we least expect it, life sets us a challenge to test our courage and willingness to change. At such a moment, there is no point in pretending that nothing has happened or in saying that we are not ready. The challenge will not wait. Life does not look back.
Wow. Yeah, that's powerful.
I thought this was really interesting, especially like in the context of starting a business.
Yeah.
You know, because so often it's like we're waiting for that right moment.
Exactly.
You know, or we think, oh, it's not the right time, or like, well, I need to learn this one more thing or get this one more thing in place.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, how many times have we heard people say that I'm going to wait until, you know, fill in the blank?
Exactly. Yeah.
I'm going to wait until the kids are out of school, or I'm going to wait until, you know, we've paid off this debt or whatever. Yeah. There's always something.
And I think the reality is like, there is never going to be a perfect time.
Never perfect time. And you know what? I think those challenges that we face when we're not quite ready, I think those actually help us to grow.
Yeah.
They help us to learn. And I mean, imagine if you started a business and there were never any challenges. I mean,
what would you even
learn anything? I don't think so.
Right. It would just...
You have to have those obstacles, those hurdles that you have to overcome in order to learn from them and grow.
It's like that saying, smooth seas never made a skilled sailor.
Exactly.
And, you know, you were saying how, you know, these challenges, they help us grow.
Yes.
And I think one of the big things that like comes up when it comes to starting a business is failure.
Oh, absolutely.
Right. And that fear of failure. And I think what's interesting is that it is a challenge. Right?
It is.
Because on the one hand, it's like you can be so afraid of failure that you never do anything.
But you're paralyzed, you're frozen, you don't take any action.
Right.
Because you're so afraid of making a mistake. But you know what? Mistakes are how we learn. There's not going to get it right every single time.
And I think that's something this book really emphasizes as well, is that it's not necessarily about being perfect, but it's about progress.
Progress, not perfection.
And taking action.
That's right.
And then learning from those mistakes. And also, you know, this book talks about like this idea of like, you know, finding a balance.
Yes.
Because it's not all about, you know, just pushing yourself to the limit all the time. And I think that kind of ties back into that quote. Of, you know, life's going to throw challenges our way, whether we're ready for them or not. So it's like finding that balance of, you know, taking action and like moving our businesses forward, but also, you know, like taking care of ourselves.
Yeah, absolutely, because you can't pour from an empty cup.
Exactly.
And I think what happens sometimes is we get so caught up in the hustle, you know, this whole like hustle culture, and we think that we have to be on all the time.
Yeah.
And that's just not sustainable.
And that's also, you know, no way to live.
No.
Like, who wants to, you know, achieve all this success, but be completely miserable?
Exactly.
Burnt out.
I would rather be, you know, moderately successful and happy than be like a multimillionaire and miserable.
Exactly.
I think that's something that a lot of people can relate to.
And I think that's where, you know, this willingness to change comes in, is that are we willing to change our definitions of success?
Yes.
To, you know, encompass more than just, you know, financial gain.
Yeah, because success doesn't have to look a certain way for everyone.
Exactly.
It's about defining what success means to you.
Yeah.
And for some people, it might be financial freedom, but for other people, it might be being able to spend more time with their kids or, you know, traveling the world or whatever it is, but you get to decide.
And speaking of, you know, success and taking action, this book provides a lot of really good practical advice.
It does.
When it comes to like creating a business plan.
Yeah.
It even gives like a template and everything.
It does.
But then it kind of throws in this curveball by saying like, okay, so you have this plan.
Yeah.
You know, you need to take action.
You got to just do it.
And like sometimes you just have to dive in because I think there's this thing of like we can get so caught up in like the planning,
Absolutely.
like wanting it to be perfect.
Perfection is the enemy of progress.
Right.
And sometimes you just have to get started and you'll figure it out along the way.
And then something else I thought was really interesting is that the author actually encourages anyone who's listening, who's like really serious about starting a business, to reach out to him on LinkedIn.
Wow.
And like get like a more in-depth, like, you know,
look at that,
like startup plan, which I thought was really cool.
I love that.
Yeah, so it's all about taking action.
It really is.
Don't wait for the perfect time. Don't wait for all the stars to align. Just take that first step and get started.
So as we kind of resurface from this deep dive,
I think the big takeaway here is like, yeah, you want to have a plan, but you also need to be willing to like take action and learn as you go.
Learn and adjust. It's all about iteration.
And, you know, don't let like perfection be the enemy of progress.
That's right.
So that being said, is there anything else that you thought was like?
I don't think so. I think you covered it all.
Yeah?
Great job as always.
Well, awesome.
Very insightful.
So for all of you listening out there, I want to leave you with this.
Right.
Think about an area of your life where you've been wanting to take action on something.
Yeah.
But you've been putting it off.
Right.
What's one small step you can take today to get started?
Love it.
All right, everybody, until next time.